I thought I wasn't gonna bring this to you, but I did anyways. So today we're gonna be going over the top 10 hardest non-crazy maps. Non-crazy, which means they're not crazy, they're insane. So technically the hardest insane levels that exist. And every two map tests, so I guess let's jump right in. The bottom spot, of course. We couldn't leave this list without the famous quorum without being featured in there. Like I told you at least a couple times in my other videos where I featured this map in the list, it's difficult to deal with because with all those things moving around up and down and all over the place, it really is kind of hard to know when you're supposed to time your jumps, especially when you're trying to use a shortcut. Like speedrunning this map is optional, but it's not recommended if you don't want to get sopped up by the lava a bajillion times. To speedrun this, you literally have to be perfect. So unless you like getting crunched by lava over and over, just don't speedrun. However, this is at the bottom of the list. The stuff gets harder later on. So yeah. That's the end of recording. If you can see any cuts in the video, it's because I paused the recording a couple times. Next map. Yeah, Mid Temple. That classic isn't a great boy. Well, not really. After this buff, it knocked down 14th time spot, and if we got pushed any further, it was covered up our 8th spot holder. Because this map is pretty difficult. In terms of only one part killing me over and over. That's how I prove it. Though these grassy sections aren't really that hard, some of the other sections are. Like this purple room, for example, is one of the hardest parts of the level. Only the blue room, lava room, having that hard difficulty. That's true. Yeah, so that wraparound was what killed me over and over. Because it's like about 5 studs, you really have to do it exactly right, or else you can't land the platform, and it's almost impossible to do it forward. So if you want to do it sideways, well, that's a better choice. But if you take too long trying to get ready for that thing, you get closed up by the door back there. Because the water, not those thing turns to lava. Because you want to get caught by the water current on the way up the ladder. But that's literally a mid temple. Not that too hard to get the hang of it. Hole in the wall. You didn't think this map was gonna get into this list? Well, it did. For one reason why. This map's length. It's one of those really long maps. And long maps really piss me off because it happens that it's almost impossible to make it before time runs out, as you only have 2 minutes to complete maps. In this map, for some reason, I died on the last one twice, because the stupid thing, end zone, somehow disappears if you pass the 1 minute 55 mark. Really, I thought those things were cameras, but yeah, they're just decorations. This is a halfway point. You see how long it is. It says almost there. You're not almost there. You're only halfway there. And this map does get harder later on, so it looks as if this is a joke. No. Loading to the players, this is really the illusion. I tell you, this map ain't easy as it seems because you'll die at the end a couple times, I warn you. Because either max time or nothing. It has to be that. Last hard part. Ouch. And you're done. Boom. I think you know this was coming. Shadows of the past, boy. You pretty much knew this one was going to be in the list. Not only because of its sheer length, because of how hard the rooms are compared to the others. Because this room I think is more difficult than anything else. Because of this jump and how nasty the lava can be in this room. But really, I don't think the rest of it's that hard. I hope to take this map down. Not off the forums, I'm not stupid, but just get this map over and done with. Or like it completed. You've got this long stretch of hallway, but be prepared for the door to close, so don't be all that worked up. At least those are not evil and it's kill brick. I'm gonna go behind this little crack. And then this lab door. The map doesn't seem long, but it is long. You go to the right and then down. Into this part here, the floor drops. A sheer long jump, I believe. Boom, hit this. And going down. And you're done. If you don't run out of time. Shadows of the past. There you go. You just beat it. Of course, Annihilated Academy. How could we leave you out? Of course it'd have to be somewhere in this list. And number 6 seems to be the spot where it's reserved at. Because of its two towers are extremely much harder than anything else in the level. That would deserve that number 6 spot. But there are still insane levels harder than this. So this ain't the hardest insane level out there. Only the 6th hardest, I think. There are lots of levels on out there, and I can't include every single one that I think is hard. I'd have to leave some out. There probably are some other ones, and I don't know which ones they would be. So yeah, it's up to you guys. Which is really difficult to see what else I forgot. And how these come so hard? Because you can just get flung off this one if you land very early on the platform. Hostiles, hot, boyo. But this level ain't that hard once you get the hang of it, I guess. For number 5, we actually have a tie. So let's see what these two maps are. I find them exactly the same difficulty. Wouldn't share them with anything else, so let's get right in. Our first number 5 is the old shutdown, of course. You wouldn't think I leave this one out. This is the second version of shutdown, not the retro one, because the retro one is really easy. Hey, why was that a fail? Let's get to the real attempt. Let's try this again. The first number 5 is the old shutdown. You thought we leave this one out. This is the second version of shutdown. Because retro shutdown is like really easy, so yeah. This is after Tony realized that he wanted to make this a challenge map, but we decided to make this way harder than it was retroly. So yeah. It was one of the hardest maps back then, but now that we have Tree Resurgence on those maps, this map is like nothing now. But when it comes to the hardest insane levels, this is one of them. So don't think this map doesn't have any loyalty now. And that shortcut is still there. Oh well, look, there's a different one now. Hello, where's the actual attempt? Oh, looks like he didn't have one, so I'll just grab it up real quick. Alright, let's get back to where we were. So that shortcut's still there. And yeah, the freaking door is like that. And yeah. This jump isn't as hard as it was is this third version. And then after that, it should be done as long as you take enough time to actually get there. So, easy map. You guessed it. The other number 5 is, of course, it had to be Electroman's Adventures. You thought I wouldn't have this one, but of course, you should have already known. This is harder than Annihilate Academy because the acid swims are like much harder, and you've got fans that will tend to block you, which can really annoy some people. And just because of that, this map has gotten this spot. Because it was really hard to decide if this was harder than Annihilated Academy or not. But because of those fans, because they made me die at the end twice. One for the first completion and one for the second. So, and this one has some much harder jumps because of those, like, what do you call them? The platforms are like much smaller than an Annihilated Academy as well. And there are some really far jumps, much more than Annihilated Academy has. So this map is only one spot higher. But when we get to the top 3, that's where the insanity really begins. The Annihilated Academy, rip that. We got Ultraman Adventures in the house, boy. We got you now. Next. Yes, I know this map isn't playable, but I think it deserves a spot in this list. Of course, discontinued construction. It is now cancel construction. You can't play this map anymore, but it's so that there's a spot. We could fit sheer difficulty. This one being the first Extravaganza map on the list. Yes, it gets harder from here. And this jump is what kills almost everybody who plays this. It's that freaking hard to do that one jump. And in the buff, you can't do this shortcut anymore. Because I think Kukai watches YouTube. So yeah. And this button's all the way down there. Hey, at least you get a little 15-second breather before having to get your head back in the game for this next part. And it only gets harder in the buff. Because Kukai recently has been buffing his maps, everyone except Stranded Island. Because Painful Flood is the old version of Endanger Flood, and it's now way harder. Endanger Flood was never touched though. Crystal Based was not touched. Stranded Island was not touched. Other than that, this map, that part is kind of fairly easy. And we got this very rotten jump. Like, about shut down Revamp's longest jump lane. This section is also pretty rotten. I hate that. Then it's sailing to the end because I don't think anyone's died on that jump. Other than that, discontinued just ain't that hard because practice well. For third place, we actually have a three-way tie because these maps are just that hard. So yeah, this one is really hard. It's one of the only insane Kukai maps remaining. For this, and the only other one I really know that's remained is Painful Flood. But they're not including that because it's just a remake of Endanger Flood. Of course, you've got this damn room, but you have to practically glitch out of it. And you really have to just keep pressing the jump button to not fall. And yeah, watch out, boyo. This is the one part that kills everybody. So, like me, if you're an arrow key player, good luck making up these ladders. Because there's no way to get back up except that way. Either you might have to just use fly hacks to do it. Yep. This one's harder than a shutdown, of course it is. What would be not there except galaxy collapse? Of course. Couldn't have this one out. Oh, the next map, you may disagree that it's the same difficulty, but as of my opinion, I'm sure it is. Because in this level and the next one, there's that one hard part that kills everybody. For this map, it's the ladders. For the last map, it was that ladder section at the end. For the next map, it's that laser jump and then some parts at the start. Telling by that, you probably know what it is by now. I'm not going to tell you, but you'll see. Just wait another 50 seconds, I'm pretty sure. Yes, I still hate this glitch. Because you will end up emerging from the bottom instead of the top, which you don't get glitched from the top, but when you emerge from the bottom, you're really technically submerging out of the water. Lol. You somehow get glitched and you don't fall out until like the game like finally gets that code. Other than that, this jump is hard and you've pretty much beaten it. As long as you have the strategy for this last part, because yes. Now you've pretty much successfully beaten it, as long as you have not wasted too much time. Because you'll die next time if you have, so watch out for that. Of course, the top three are all Sunni Tomb maps. The first one up is the real challenge. This is where things will get crazy. Because his maps are more hell than the Kukai maps. Crystal Base is just as hard as this, but I tell you, this map is still hard as hell. Yes, the top 3 maps should be bumped up to crazy, but as New Tomb is never returning, these are the hardest insane levels that are known to me today. Like, look at these jumps. It is a Dark Side remake, but it's one of the hardest of them. Just watch out for the really tricky jumps. Just look at this. Later on, it gets really hard. Nothing compares to anything but that last hell jump. Jesus Christ, that really hurts. So yeah, conveyors, whoopoo. I didn't ask for those. Just look at, well, the second room I can guess I see it's even the first one because of you know how dark it already goes. But still there are some hard jumps in that room, so still watch out. Boom, and there you have it, that's a real challenge. Yep, Extravaganza. This is harder than the real challenge, yet I'm trying to beat this instead of real challenge because I actually got further than this nonetheless. Forsakenly a hard map that might be for 100 subscribers. Well, that 100 sub special I planned a new link to get Space Adventure done. So boys, wait for that. This is digital reality, but digital reality doesn't have swim sections in it, but whatever. I'm not gonna argue. Like I said with Real Challenge. Crazy please. But Symphony 2 ain't coming back, so deal with this being insane. Time Machine. So this is a map mix. And I completely forgot this map was in this map. But anyways, look at this shit. This movie got so many rooms combined. We got Nuclear Meltdown, GGX, and the Startup Failure Hard. Oh, and then I tell you that this map also almost exceeded max time as well. Nice when you come out of that shade, and then the last part. Boom. Extravaganza done. You guys probably knew this one was coming in the top spot. Deadly challenge, of course. Because this is harder than the real challenge and harder than Extravaganza. What other place would it be? It has had to have been first place. So yeah, harder than both of them. This ain't the hardest Unity map. Laborious is harder, but this is the hardest insane rated Unity map. So get that in your head. It is a remake of the real challenge, which is a remake of Dark Side Facility, but really hard. And this one is harder than real challenge, so if you want to beat this one, do real challenge first. Because this one is a much more painful with much harder jumps. And shortcuts are probably needed. I don't know. And some of the jumps are like way tighter, and they have added more obstacles too, just to make this harder. This is defined the hardest insane rated map ever. Well, as of now, because some of the maps that are supposed to be on this list were bumped up to crazy, so yeah. That's what's been happening since February 8th came. For sure. And you don't have much time after this part, so I suggest you just keep running. If the song starts up again, you've only got 5 seconds. And that's it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Downers, peace out. Goodbye.